Good evening. Today is Thursday, July 10th, 2025. Update for Friday left. All right, let's go. Well, as far as setups, let's stick with these two for now. I didn't bump the entry down on NAGE. I'd like to leave it where it is, at least for now. Flat day to portfolio, but KTOS is up a buck and change in after-hour trading, so that should help things a little tomorrow, provided, of course, it follows through. Here's a Landry list. I'm starting to like this AEVA again. I like the fact that it's coming back down. Now it's a trend pivot pullback, so I just want to show you that one. We may make an official setup soon, but for now, let's just stick with the VG and, of course, wait for entry. A fairly strong day today in that one. And the NAGE. And again, it's pulled back a little further. I still like this one quite a bit, but if it doesn't trigger, then don't go after it, no matter how much I like it or you like it. But you can see we're starting to get a few setups in here, and so we could see more setups to choose from fairly soon. Let's take a look at the portfolio, and then we'll pop out to the overall market. BTM kind of flats feel after a bit of a dip. It'll be interesting to see how this one trades with Bitcoin, which broke out to all-time highs today, which is pretty cool. KGC up a smidge if you squint your eyes. Hanging in there for the most part. One decent update would get us fairly close to that IPT, but obviously that has to happen. KTOS, again, after hours trading, up about another point in a quarter or so. So maybe we'll get to those brand new highs, and hopefully, I know you said hope, but hopefully stay there. TFPM coming in a little bit on your stops just in case. Longer term, still an uptrend, just kind of hovering around that 30 EMA. Let's take a look at the overall market. Got quite a few things to talk about tonight. S&P 500 didn't set the world on fire, but that's enough to put it right at these all-time highs. So that's certainly a good thing. You know me, I like to see a market breakout past its prior peak and not look back. Stop me if you heard that before. Let's take a look at the NASDAQ Composite. Decent day there, too, as far as, not setting the world on fire, but as far as closing at all-time highs. And as long as the market's closing at all-time highs, I'm not going to read into the action too much. Rusty 2000, not a bad day there. Off its best levels, but still up 0.5%. It's still pushing further and further into this overhead supply. Once we get past that, not too much further to go to get to all-time highs. So let's just keep an eye on that situation. Cybercomputing getting whacked in here. Not the end of the world just yet, but if it comes back below this recent breakout, that would be of concern. So far, it's just a bit of a knockout move. And nature. Bitcoin, look at that. Nice little breakout there. I recently put some posts out saying that we've had the Landry light and wait for a breakout. Well, now we're getting the breakout. So that's certainly a good thing. Gold, the commodity, up a smidge, hovering around that 30 EMA. Longer term uptrend still intact. Short to intermediate term beginning to trade sideways. Ditto for the gold stock. So they did have a decent day here. One big update would certainly fix that. Broker dealer continues to bang out new highs with a bit of vigor. So that's certainly a good thing. I'm not sure how much Hood is helping that, but Hood, which I would consider crypto, is doing fairly well. Take a look at biotech. Continues to just push higher into this overhead supply. Very impressive. The Landry 100, as I've been saying, is mostly biotech. Or, I'm sorry, the biggest pieces of the pie would be gold and biotech. And it's interesting that there's so many biotechs in there when biotech overall hasn't looked fantastic. But now it's beginning to improve. So the individual stocks went first and then the sector. Defense hanging around those all-time highs. Not a whole lot to glean there. Uptrend so far, at least remaining intact. Software, a bit of a bummer. This is that stalling action that I occasionally talk about when a market hits a prior peak and comes back in. Not the end of the world. Intermediate term still up. But obviously you want to see some new highs banged out sooner rather than later. Speaking of new highs, take a look at the transports. They were on fire today. Not too far to go to get to brand new highs. And jets, straight up, look at that. 7% and change. Not too far away from all-time highs. Will it be sustainable? I don't know. Let's just keep an eye on it and see. Semiconductors ending higher in the day, and that's enough to keep them at all-time highs. So I'm not going to argue with that. Again, and as usual, I like to see this prior peak get cleared decisively before getting too excited. But we certainly could see some setups there as long as it remains at or near those all-time highs. Financials, a little bit of a bounce there, hovering right above the prior peak. So that's important for it to continue to do that. So overall, things continue to improve. Obviously, wait for entries and honor your stops and all those other good things, and take some profits if offered. Everybody have a fantastic night. We'll talk to you tomorrow, if not sooner. Thank you so much.